All right, hi everybody, David Fogel back with you, CEO of the Symphonina Foundation, back with another Symphonina Foundation podcast. I'm joined today by composer Marco Valerio Antonini. Marco, how are you?
Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and I should say probably not just composer, but orchestrator and conductor, and probably a few other things that we're going to learn about today, I'm guessing, right, Marco?
Yeah, I have a classical training, so I study composition and orchestration in the Conservatory, Santa Cecilia Conservatory of Rome. Mm-hmm. And so that gave me a good spectrum of understanding of composition, also from the orchestration perspective. As you probably know, especially in Europe, the distinction is less marked than it is here between orchestration and composition. So that allowed me to have a holistic approach, if you will.
Yeah, and then you came to the United States, I think it was about 10 years ago, you mentioned to me, and I think you went to the USC Thornton School of Music too, correct?
Yes, yes, because in Italy, I started in film music, mostly scoring documentary, a lot of historical based documentaries, but I always wanted to move here, both for the environment and the kind of cinema I wanted to do, but also for the kind of music I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I decided to go back to school. I took the USC scoring program, and after that, I started working here about, exactly at this point, exactly 10 years ago, because I started work in 2016 after finishing the program that started in 2015.
Yeah. Do they help you find a first project to work on as coming out of that school, or is that something you have to do on your own?
Well, indirectly, yes, because what I've been doing for the past 10 years has been twofold. On one hand, I've been assisting other composers in various capacities. I've been orchestrating for Jeff Beal, mostly in television music, and I've been additional composing music for video games for Gordy Haab.
Yeah.
And both of them I actually met through the program in various capacities as guest lecturers or things like that. And then the other part, it's been my own projects, collaborations with directors and with game developers. And some of these are people that I actually met there that were studying movies at the USC SCA while I was studying film music at the Thornton School of Music. So we connected there and then continued working professional world later on.
Yeah, so it makes a big difference, I think, too, like who you get to meet, who you know, and who can open those first doors for you, especially if you're coming to the United States for the first time and like everything's new, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an extremely welcoming environment, and what they say about the US and opportunities is true. I've rarely been asked who I knew back home, rather than let me hear your music,
right?
Which is something that it's not always the case back from where I'm from. So it's extremely rewarding to be recognized for what you do and get opportunities out of it.
Speaking of being recognized for what you do, I believe you were invited to join the Recording Academy this year. So congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's an exciting new chapter. I've been a voting member of the Television Academy for a few years, but the Grammys is something that I always wanted to join. The opportunity opened after I contributed additional music to the soundtrack to the video game Star Wars Jedi Survivor that won the Grammy for best video game soundtrack, and that apparently makes you eligible. So it was very, very nice to actually join, and I'm excited because I believe in a week or two we will have like the new member welcome week with some events and get to meet other people also in other disciplines, not just music for media. So it's very interesting.
Well, welcome. And if there's anything I can do in that regard to be of help to you, we have a big Grammy family, of course, as you know, and there'll be lots of people in the LA area who can be of help to you as well. I think you have some new film project that you're either working on presently or about to. Let's hear about what you have in mind. Or what you have up in store for us.
Absolutely. There is a director that I've been working with for many, many years, and she's Italian, and we did several projects when I was back in Italy, both in the documentary and short film world. She has a fascination about biopic stories with a twist. We've been doing films that deal with the inner world of famous characters. And in this case, as your audience certainly knows, this year it marks 100 years since the composition of Turandot by Puccini, so the last opera that he ever wrote. And in Italy, there's been a lot of cultural events and things, celebrations about that. One of the things that happens in these cases is that you can submit a project for consideration with the Ministry of Culture for a partial financial support for development of films. And she submitted a film titled The Last Note, E flat, which is about what went on or what we imagine went on in his head during the last hours of his life. And the movie is written by the director, Emanuela Morozzi, and produced by herself and Massimiliano Gardia. It's a medium-length movie. It got financed by the Ministry of Culture. So what we're going to do is try to walk the fine thread of how do you score a movie about Puccini without, feeling either a scam or too full of yourself. So, yeah. Jokes apart, it's a very interesting project and it's full of emotion. And I will be scoring this probably last quarter of this year.
Okay.
We're thinking about moving into a chamber music space also to provide, sort of a distance, even if we still want to convey emotions, and so there will certainly be tonal music and some romanticism in it. We can thread the line by distantiating ourselves from an orchestral palette that we would obviously, confound itself too much with the obvious quotations of Puccini's music that will be in the film.
Yes, and then when you finish, are you going to finish this year? Then, when you say the last quarter, you're going to be
completely
done?
I think we will be all done by the end of the year. Yes.
Okay, and then how long does it take to get to a final production that's going to be released after you have the music finished?
Our intention is this is going to be a rush job because because the anniversary is this year.
Yeah.
So we want it to be out before the end of the year. Okay. The good news is that being mostly an art project, it's not feature length. It's going to be around 30 minutes, something like that. So it should be doable in a normal amount of time. Even if it's not, we will make it doable because you know better than I do.
You just have to. Yeah. No, I was just going to, I remember watching the movie, I think it was called Score. And sometimes, the person doing the music for a movie, whoever it is, would be like, wow, they're advertising the movie and I haven't started on the score yet. So, when you say it's going to be, you're wrapping up the music fourth quarter this year, I'm thinking, well, I'm hoping it's not released fourth quarter. Let me ask him a delicate question. But it will be released fourth quarter. So, okay.
It will be.
It's exactly how everything is done. It's like, okay, it's ready. We'll go. So,
yeah,
all right.
We'll be working in parallel with color and visual effects, if there are any, and finishing will go side by side with music. It's one of those cases.
We will be looking for the Christmas miracle that movie and music go together right on the right time at the right
time.
when you have an opportunity to work on something like that, an art documentary versus, let's say, a romantic comedy or a video game or something else, each one has to have its own perspective from you. Do you have, and it might be unfair to ask you if you like one more than another, but do you have things that you look forward to about each of them? And what are those things? How do you get yourself psyched up to do whatever it is that you need to do for the movie or the video game or the film or the TV, I should say, program that you're being asked to help produce?
Obviously, the set of challenges is very different. In a case like this, you are under a blank page. So what I look forward to is discovering what the emotion of the film is going to tell me that it needs in terms of writing without parameters that deal with pre-existing IPs or specific genre contexts that happen on other kinds of projects. Whereas when I work on a video game, I've been doing a lot of additional for Gordy, mostly on Star Wars video games, and we did
Hmm.
the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle game
Yes, that
last
was
year.
Grammy nominated too, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
congratulations on that. Yeah.
Thank you. With those, the excitement is more how do I fit into an established story, an established world. In this specific case, it's also a very established musical world.
Yes.
And there is obviously the excitement of the perspective of working with a very large orchestra and having a lot of colors at your disposal. So the set of excitement is different, but also the set of challenges is different because you deal with, if you will, a more strict set of parameters,
Hmm.
which can be very creative though, because when you have established parameters, usually the creativity is in how do I twist those parameters and use them to paint my own picture. So it's still very interesting. And
Yeah.
in terms of media, games versus films, I don't perceive a strong difference
Okay.
because I feel the challenges are the same. The collaborative aspect is the same. There could be minor technical differences in some of the things that you do, but in the end, it's the same craft.
And do you feel like doing video games is a lot like doing animated cartoons generally too, or would you say those two things are quite different?
I would say that at least the way I live it is
Hmm.
that video games are a hybrid between animation and concert music because you have very extensive linear cinematic moments that you score like an animated movie, or in some cases, even like a live action movie, because yes, it's animated, but it doesn't have the lightness of animation. Sometimes they're heavy stories. In the case of Indiana Jones, it felt like an Indiana Jones film
Got it.
rather than a cartoon transposition of it. That's for the linear part. But then there's all the gameplay music, which you don't write to a visual because there is no visual. There is usually a demonstration of how the visual will be, but every player will play differently.
Correct. Yep.
So you write on a spec of what the emotion and the general pace of a situation will be, but you don't have any visual that you have to sync to,
Right.
which is kind of like writing a concert piece into a more rigid set of parameters than you would have with a concert piece.
Very interesting. And then I guess sometimes you might have some things that are scripted in between scenes, though, right? There might be something that is like a movie-ish picture that's going to run every time that you're
Exactly.
skipping in
That's what I
between.
meant when I meant cinematic linears. Those are
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
those are actually linear sections that are just like a movie. So
yeah.
you have both the freedom of doing a piece that should feel like a threat or very dangerous moment, but that's all they tell you, and there is no timing limitation. So you do your own thing, and you can even work with form
Hmm.
in a way that usually movies don't allow you to because the form is the form of the scene. In these cases, you can actually do an ABA or try a forma sonata and play with it.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 And I guess
Yeah.
also you want to try to make something where someone might be thinking they're going to hear that hundreds of times,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because and hopefully not get bored with that music, right? Hopefully it's
Yeah.
engaging every time, but also not distracting to what they're trying to achieve in the game. It's a tricky balance, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. There's also a lot of different ways of doing it. Some studios like working a lot on so-called interactive music, so things like orchestration that will change depending on how the situation changes. So you
Okay.
will write several versions of the same music, which will share thematic, harmony, and tempo materials, but will have different orchestrations, and the system will change the orchestration depending on what's happening.
Yeah.
Others prefer to work more like simply in situations, so you don't have that level of modularity.
Hmm.
It's a very variegated way, but the skill set, I think, it's the same as the skill set of a film composer because you might have a theme in a movie that needs a very subdued string rendition for a dialogue scene and then a bombastic full orchestra moment when it's in an action scene, but it's the same theme. So
Right. Right.
it's a very similar skill set.
Yes, and then again, it requires you to have a diversity of talent to be able to write to any theme, to take any musical theme and write it to any genre, actually.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Western
definitely.
or whatever it might be that you need in that particular time, because who knows what it's going to be, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Different tempos, how to take something that you always did in 4/4, and now we need to do a 6/8 piece out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tricky. Okay. And when you have a project, are you mainly focused on that one project, or do you do multiple things at one time?
I wish I could focus only on one at a time.
Hmm.
It's usually release a couple, two or three at the same time.
Okay.
It's the nature of the business. Some projects will require a block out period where you just focus on that, especially towards the end when the recording session approaches. That's the moment where you usually have to carve out an exclusive moment. But it's usually more than one at the same time.
Okay. And how do you? And I'm guessing they probably have nothing to do with each other, so you have to change gears completely when you go from doing one to the next.
Yeah, compartmentalization and time management. Sometimes I will do a day one, a day another. Sometimes that's not possible. You actually have to do morning on one thing and afternoon on the other. But I feel we're privileged in that because as media composers, there's so much that the visual aspect is giving you in terms of emotional investment that switching only takes a coffee. You go out of the room for a coffee to get out of a world, and when you come back, the other world is in front of you. It's easier than if you had to write two symphonies at the same time.
Yes, exactly. All right. So for next year, we know the film's coming, but what other projects do you have in the works for 2027?
2027, there are a couple of video games we're working on that will be announced soon. One we just wrapped is called Star Wars Zero Company,
Okay.
and it's an EA Star Wars game that's coming out
Very
this
nice.
year,
Electronic
and the
Arts. Yes.
soundtrack album is about to come up as well. And that's again scored by Gordy Haab. I'm additional composer on it.
Wonderful.
Another thing is a romantic comedy movie that we're developing with a friend of mine, director Sikandar Sidhu. He's an Indian director that studied at USC, one of the people that I told you I met there, and
Yeah.
we started together.
Yeah.
This movie is called Chindia. It's the story of an Indian boy and a Chinese girl that want to get married in Los Angeles and have to inform their very conservative families back home who have certain racist ideas against each other.
Makes sense.
So it deals with Chinese versus Indian in conservative cultures, the relative conservative cultures, but in a very lightweight way. And it passes through a message of universality through it by making you laugh. So we've scored this and we're currently finishing it. It should come out also next year.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to all of that. Marco, it's been great meeting with you, and congratulations again on joining the Academy and for all your accomplishments. It's just great, and I know I'm going to enjoy all the work that you have coming up this year. I haven't played video games much lately. I did a lot when I was younger, but you know, you're making this conversation is making me want to go get them to listen to the music, if not to play the game. So.
Absolutely. The good thing is that now all games get a soundtrack album out on Spotify and Apple Music and whatever, so you can listen to everything.
I know that's great. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
The website has www.marcovalerioantonini.com as a contact form that actually goes to my private email. So
good.
It will not go to a manager or anybody. I can guarantee it will get to me.
Go straight to Marco, everybody. Just go to his contact page. You'll
yes.
Get to him. Marco, thank you so much. If there's anything we can do with the Symphonina Foundation to be of help to you, just let us know. We're going to listen to some more of your great music on the way out here.
Thank you. You have a great day.